Hey guys, welcome back to Screen Queen Stream. Y'all know me, I'm Jessica Cameron. And if you don't know who this is, allow me to introduce you. It is the one, the only, the fabulous, the Columbus, Ohio-based Allie Ferda.
Hey!
Thank you so very much for joining us. You might recognize Allie from Lilith, which you probably haven't seen yet because we haven't played a festival, but it will be happening soon. Or the unending promo that we've done that will be coming out shortly as well.
Yes.
Stay tuned. So we are here to discuss the Blair Witch Project. That's right, it's another hot tub horror movie review, if you couldn't tell by the fact that we are in a hot tub. Thank you, Kansas City Slash and Bash. For those of you who don't know, The Blair Witch is a movie from 1989 that was directed by Eduardo Sanchez and Daniel Myrick. So basically, they went the opposite route by crafting a new style of presentation and especially promotion. That's right. This was effectively, for most people, the birth of found footage horror. So people had been doing found footage movies like The Last Broadcast, which was made the year prior, but this was the first time it got a wide theatrical release by distributor Artisan Entertainment, which capitalized on the fact that it was made to look like it was a real found footage film, meaning it was marketed and publicized as a piece of found footage that was found where the people who made it went missing. And they actually went to great extents to portray that. The three actors in the film went MIA off all social media, couldn't be found for like several months at the time.
I was just gonna say, and they put up missing poster signs.
They put
of
up
them,
missing
like,
posters,
everywhere.
and they had a missing website that looked real.
Yeah.
And this is like before like social media was like such a huge thing, 1999.
Right.
So people believed
MySpace
it.
then.
We might not have.
Did we?
I have no idea. I don't remember. I was a kid.
But like it was just like
I
off
was
the
a
grid.
kid. It was off the grid. So I said like they went off social media. I was so young, I don't even remember. But there was definitely like a website that had their actual missing posters information and like, if you see these people, please report back, please tell us, etc. And that's really what made this to be such the huge success that it became, because we'd never seen that before. So many people believed that it was real and authentic.
Oh yeah.
And reacted as such, which is really remarkable. So, and several, like, my friend received a bootleg of the movie, which I believe he was sent intentionally as, like, again, like, look at this, we found this on the black market. Even though it was, like, intentionally distributed on the black market. Yeah, like, a year before it's released.
Oh shit. That's actually really smart that they did that. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
So, yeah, so this was very well executed, micro-budget box office success. They also, for the record, had the female lead gain weight so that she didn't look like an actress, because they wanted her to look like a normal person.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. And also, I feel like you can even call it a micro budget because the film literally they spent like $1,000 or something like that.
Yeah, it's like nothing.
And they returned the camera that they bought afterwards. So.
Indie film goals.
So like they didn't even have to like worry about that.
Yeah, indie film goals. Good for you. I'm impressed.
I mean, yeah.
All right, so the cast. The cast is unknown, or at least were then. I don't think that any of them have done anything really since.
No.
I know Heather does some kind of pop book.
I heard that she basically was like so turned away from the like indie horror scene, like especially after that, because she pretty much, I mean, they all got burned. None of them got paid.
Well, but here's the thing. If they easily could have parlayed this into a lifelong career.
Oh, easily.
Hell, they could make such a great living just going to horror cons, so I don't have any pity for you whatsoever. Like, anybody who wants to make the next Blair Witch and not pay me, if I actually believe that you're capable of making the next Blair Witch, fucking cast me in it, and I will just recoup the money that I don't earn by going to horror cons for the rest of my life. And making thousands of dollars for sitting at a table, signing pictures of that movie I didn't spend any money to make that took me 7 days.
That's true. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, let's keep this in perspective.
Yeah,
So,
none of them did that. I don't feel like any of them had
they've done a couple, but they just like to bitch and they like to complain. And I'm not a fan of that.
That sounds like a lot of actors, honestly.
Mic drop.
And not the ones that work.
No. So, okay, so the cast itself, even though it's unknowns, worked because it's supposed to be. It needs to be unknowns because they were playing on the fact that it was marketed to be real people and a real experience that went horribly awry. Yeah. So, let's jump into what worked. Allie, what do you think worked?
Honestly, the whole found footage thing for me works. Like, that I know it's like the whole thing that sold the movie, it's the point of it. There was just such a real and rawness to the film, and I know a lot of that came from the fact that the actors were put in circumstances they weren't told were going to happen or they weren't aware of.
AKA indie filmmaking for the win.
Indie filmmaking for the win. But there was also some stuff like I didn't realize like the crew wasn't with them. Like they basically were given directions like dropped off to them like every morning. And and then they kind of had this vague idea of where to go. And then every day they started giving them less and less food so that they would get mad at each other. And like that's how they got that whole drama. So like when they're mad and angry and irritated at one another, they're actually mad, angry, and irritated and lost.
Reads on screen so well.
No, they completely just like fucked with these 3 actors completely, but it worked.
It worked so well.
Worked.
No, yeah. I literally wrote so much of this film is great and works so well. Right? And like, like the bad camera angles, there's a lot of shitty camera angles. So if you're like one of those people who likes to judge filmmaking by a camera angle, this might not be the movie for you. Keep in mind, it's supposed to be found footage. So it's not supposed to be perfect because it's not supposed to be quote unquote edited.
It's not pretty.
So it's designed to not have been seen as edited.
Yeah.
And it looks that way. Like it authentically looks like something somebody could have picked up in the middle of the forest and been like, what is this? So like there's moments where it's like in a normal movie, that scene would have been cut.
Yeah.
Because it's like on, a pant leg. But you can hear them freaking out at each other, which is so great.
I would be like so pissed though if I was Heather and like had that nose drip thing. I know it's like such an iconic shot of like the tear nose drip like onto the camera. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
When she's like,
no, of course. Where she's like, she's like scary. And it's like the snot. Here's the thing. I'd rather be known for something than not known at all.
Oh shit! Look at Jess just like dropping mics.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. So for me, like, I actually loved how it was shot. I actually like all of those things where it's like, it feels authentic because it doesn't feel overly stylized or overly produced.
Yeah.
They don't look like they're professionally wearing makeup. I suspect there's no professional makeup artist on
there was no makeup artist on
like,
that.
I suspect the actors are actually manning the camera, which I'm pretty sure they were.
They were.
There was no cinematographer. So it feels like an actor who's not qualified to hold a camera, holding a freaking camera. That's what it looked like to me.
They literally just dropped them off in the woods and left them.
All I'm hearing about are great ideas for
and then they would like every morning they'd like just wake up to a new note being like, hey, why don't you guys go this way, and kind of talk about this. They were just given like side things. So like I know there was like
directors are genius.
When they heard the screaming in the woods, that was the crew. And they had like no idea they were there. It was like completely unexpected. They were in the middle of sleeping and the crew just started screaming. Yeah. No, it's great.
I also loved how they utilized the fear of the unknown really brilliantly. There's like that moment earlier on in the film where it's just on one of the men. I always get the males' names, like I always forget them. But like it's on one of the 2 guys and he's describing what he heard. And now he heard like a cackling. And his description of what he heard that he doesn't want to believe to be true is really, really frightening. Far more so than had the filmmakers actually chosen to hear that.
Yeah.
Right? His description of the cackling that he heard that he should not have heard, that could not be there, but it definitely was there, was so spine-tingling effective for me. Because like what I created in my mind was worse than what any filmmaker could ever add. Period. And it was great.
No, and like the entire time we never see the Blair Witch. It's this unseen entity, and I think there's nothing scarier than that, because again, it's what you make up in your mind. It's honestly what I hate about It Follows. It was really good until the pool scene. When
you say what you hate about it in your mind, I say what I love about it as an indie filmmaker, because I'm thinking, yay, no money on a monster.
Yeah, but then they made the monster.
They did.
When they did it, it was cool when they didn't have the monster, and then when they made him, I was like,
Agreed.
I'm not scared anymore.
It was scary, even when they were running through the woods and it was on mostly nothing.
Yeah.
Again, it just felt so frantic.
Yeah.
It felt so scary. Like you could feel the emotion of the actors and it felt genuine.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it was actors running in the woods. It felt like people are running for their lives from something they didn't know.
Because they
didn't care about the footage. They didn't care what was in shot. They didn't care if you couldn't see anything. I know me, I literally stopped it and restarted it multiple times so that I could go back and see if I could see anything. And there's nothing there. Like there's no trickery. The filmmakers aren't hiding anything. nothing in any of that footage.
No.
It's just such an effective performance and such an effective camera technique that you don't care. Like
It
your
really
mind
was
fills it
brilliant.
in. It's brilliant. So what else works?
The little stick things work and the trees.
Mhm.
Basically, the props, the whole setup of the film, and I liked. Again, this is lying to the actors, but those interviews that they do in the beginning,
so good.
those are actors.
Even like the child,
Yeah.
like who's like puts his hand
Yeah.
on the mouth, and she's like, "It's not true. I'm telling a story. It's true." I was like, "Oh my god, that felt so
Yeah.
authentic." Because like you can't tell a 2-year-old to do that. He just did it, and they were rolling the camera, and they're like, "Fuck yeah, we're gonna use it."
And
And that actress was great and improv.
Yeah.
It's real. It's fine. You know.
And the actors were under the belief that those were real townspeople. They didn't know they were actors. They thought they were really interviewing
God,
this
I love
town that really believed in this thing. So like they created a lie, like just like all these different worlds basically. They created an entire world for these actors to live in, and they scared the fuck out of them.
I'm just thinking
Yeah.
of opportunities to scare my actors because apparently it works really well.
I mean, it does. I'm really easy to scare.
But I mean, here's the thing: the actors have gone on to do nothing. But Eduardo Sanchez, one of the 2 directors, is perfectly fine and very happy with his life choices.
Has he done anything?
He did the Blair Witch sequel, or not the sequel. He did the new one 2 years ago, and a bunch of stuff in between.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to the other guy. I'll insert his IMDb here. Yay, post production. But also like the story. They picked a story that could be done well at a low budget. I think something that is often, something that I often see as a lover of independent horror is when filmmakers pick a storyline that's just not achievable at the budget they have.
Oh my god, yeah.
This was a story that could be executed brilliantly with no money. And I think that that's a lesson for all filmmakers. Pick a story that's inside the box you can tell. Don't get me wrong, aim for the top of that box, like the best that you can do it. I'm not saying not to try hard and not to do your best job. I'm just saying, like, if there's a $4 million car crash scene, trying to do that for no money is just not going to be done well. Maybe pick a script that doesn't rely on a $4 million car crash scene.
Yeah.
Or
Do
figure
a-
out how to work around
Or
it.
just like do a script that you can just do really, really, really well.
Yep.
And just focus on that. Like it doesn't have to be like overly crazy. You don't have to have all these things happen and cars flipping over. Like just do what you can do really, really well.
Yeah, this is
And you'll
3
have a good
actors
pro-
and like 2 cameras.
And watch your sound. As long as you have good sound, I mean, you're pretty golden. Just don't fuck up the sound.
Anything else you'd like to add for what works?
No, I'm good. Oh, except for that basement scene. Can we just talk about
Oh,
that?
so fucking creepy.
That was the scariest.
So creepy. I
Honestly,
don't
that-
like basements anyway, so I feel like it's preying on a common fear.
Not a lot of horror movies scare me. Actually, like I rarely jump. That scene still gives me chills. Like I can't.
I actually had to shut the movie off once because I started watching it like 3 in the morning, and I was like, whatever, nothing scares me, but I'm alone in my apartment in Hollywood, and I hear noises on the street, and I'm like, I just don't want to, I'm getting creeped out, and I need to sleep, and I need to not be awake.
First time I saw it, I was like home alone as a kid with my dog, and I remember like turning it off and just like hugging her, just like because I couldn't, like I was too scared to even like move forward with it.
So fun fact, there was actually some kind of, I forget what crime he did. I think he was a murderer. I'm not really sure. But there was my movie theater was behind these woods, right? And people like swore that they saw somebody in the woods, and everybody attributed to
Wait,
just
in
like,
real life?
Yeah.
Oh.
People just attributed it to like panic because of the movie, or like the movie was so scary people
Yeah.
were seeing stuff. And then they realized that like some escaped convict was like living in the woods. Yay, small town. And we're like, oh, sorry about that. You weren't seeing things.
I just realized I probably can't cuss on here, can I?
You totally can.
Oh, okay.
Cuss away.
Fuck.
Okay, so what didn't work? For me,
Okay.
I think the sound was almost too perfect. It felt produced.
That
so
is true.
Even when I watched, so 2 things. Number 1, I didn't ever fall victim to the marketing ploy because even though I was really young when it was released, I knew nothing about movies. I was like, there's no way in hell the family of these people, if they were either died or went missing, would allow this film to be released. They wouldn't. It would never make it to Canada. It's not a real thing. So I knew that it was a marketing ploy right away, which I think a lot of people didn't pick up on. So kudos to them for that.
Yeah.
And then number 2, the sound was just too good. Honestly,
Yeah, it
for the
should have
most part,
actually
it
been,
was
like, way more messed
too
up.
good. But here's the thing, like, but then you get into, but like, if you can't hear it, how effective would it be?
Yeah.
Right? So it's like a fine line. for me personally. And then the other thing is I thought there was a little bit too much of them like arguing and not walking for the first third of the film.
Yeah.
Because like the whole time I'm like, first of all, if I am that scared as I got on like the second and third day of being lost, don't get me wrong, I'm gonna fucking yell at you for losing the fucking map or for kicking in a fucking stream. I'm gonna hit you, I'm gonna yell at you, but I'm gonna keep fucking walking. Better yet, I'm gonna fucking run.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run as fast as I can because I know that when I run, I can do like X much further ground as I can do when I'm walking.
Jessica just
So
runs further into the forest.
No, further into like hitting a road.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, the point is like don't stop and like
Don't stop
fight
and
about
argue
it.
for,
Like the fact is,
25 minutes.
it already
you
happened.
can walk and argue. Like where the fuck are they gonna go?
And also,
y'all are walking the same direction. Just multitask, like Oprah says.
Get used to it. Like you fucking lost the map.
Well, and once
That's
you realize
the
the
new
map
world.
is gone, like it's gone.
Figure a new plan.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I think that a lot of that though is just because the actors like weren't trying to like be in it anymore, and they still needed
They
like
were over it?
time, like yeah, they were very well. If I was being starved
actually,
on
like,
set,
I literally had like flashbacks to a couple of the movies that I've done where I was like, oh my god. Side note, watch Kill a Pierre. hit a little bit close to home there.
I'm in that too for like a brief second.
You are, for like a moment.
Just a little self promotion.
Totally. But yeah, no, it was definitely felt very real. It felt very authentic.
Yeah.
I felt like it could be a movie set that we would all be on. I also really resonated because I did feel like I was like, okay, this is like where you get off focus, but still, like I would have been the type to be like, no, come on, walk faster, run harder. But like also like at one point when they were like trying to climb that embankment, I was like, if you guys didn't fucking climb down it, bitch, turn it around.
Right, you never crossed this to begin with.
You know you
Yeah.
never came down this. You would
Yeah.
remember having to climb down something that is the height of your body.
Yeah.
If you are having to come up it, if you didn't go down it, why the fuck are you going up it? Like,
Maybe
turn
there's-
around,
but
bitch,
maybe
turn
there's,
around.
like a road on the other side. I don't know.
I do know. They did not hit a road. Therefore, there was no road. I like the idea of them following the stream. I was like, yeah, more of
Yeah.
that. But also, like, run. Run alongside the stream, bitches.
Just move a little faster.
Right? But also the other thing that I never understood in any of these movies is why don't more people go up? Aside from in Wrong Turn where it didn't really work in their favor.
Oh, why don't they just climb?
Yeah, like
And
they
they
climbed
fall.
like on a tree house, which obviously they were in the tree house and that's why they set it on fire. But if you just pick like a random tree that you can fucking climb, nobody ever looks up.
Yeah, that's really smart,
Mm-hmm.
actually.
I mean, don't get me wrong, then it's like, what do? You're like, you're really high up in the air.
But at least you know, like, which direction to head towards.
Correct.
And at least civilization,
if
not
there's only
civilization.
one way they can come at you. Like, if they're not coming up to get you, they're not getting you.
Yeah. Well, the thing I love about it and what works so well with it is the fact that any kind of found footage movie since, I always compare it to the Blair Witch. And nothing, I haven't seen anything that's been like, that's better. Nothing's
Agreed.
been better. Not even, and please, I haven't seen the new one, but I saw the one sequel that they did.
The Book of Shadows was great. I feel like it was a miss. It was clearly a capitalization on the success of
I hate
the
when
Blair
they
Witch
do that,
Project.
yeah. Hollywood man.
But I want to see the new one because one of the two directors did it.
Yeah.
So I feel like that gives me hope. But like also, I feel like part of what I loved about it is the fact that it's not a Hollywood production.
Oh, it's not?
No, the first one isn't.
Oh, I was like, I saw the new one.
No, the new one is.
Yeah.
Which makes me be like less excited about it. Because I feel like what made this one so great was the fact that it wasn't done with the studio.
Yeah. Well, they're so much more restricting. And I feel like, honestly, like, Hollywood has a hard time with horror.
Studios
Studios have a hard time with horror.
So the next thing that I like to ask is questions, comments, or concerns.
What would you do if you were Heather in that situation? If you were just like an actor, dumped off in the woods.
I would have kept running. And I would have been like, you guys are either going to run with me or you're fucking not. I will leave you fucking behind. I'm going to keep running. And I'm literally not going to stop
Here's first
until I
question.
die or see a car.
Would you actually sign the contract though if they were like, you can't have your phone? Like your phone can't be anywhere near you.
For a movie?
For a movie. Like it's not, yeah, because you can't take,
So
they
it
can't take
actually-
their phone to the woods.
I don't think they had cell phones in 1999.
Oh,
Not necessarily everybody
but
did.
for it to work now,
What I do, it would depend upon
Yeah.
the schedule and the payment.
that's true.
Right?
Okay.
Because like I could go without my phone for like 4 or 5 days. right? But I wouldn't be happy, but it would also, she's like, no, you can't. But like, I was up for a reality show and they wanted me to agree to potentially be without my phone for like 6 weeks.
Oh,
and I was like, that's too much. I was like, because I can't have access to email, internet, social media.
Your job.
Anything to do with my work.
Yeah.
So like 6 weeks is detrimental to the next 6 months of my paying rent. It's 6 months of me paying for like my transportation, right? So I can't do that. Could I do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days for the right project? 110%. Would I? It would depend on the project and the team.
Yeah.
Would I do it for a reality show? No. Because I just don't fucking care about reality shows that much. Would I do it for a great movie? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like this back then, yeah, like, I mean, and also keep in mind, none of those actors had done anything else before. They were picked because they were completely unknown.
Right, but like, how would you feel if you were that actor who literally just got pranked, basically, went on a force that was like the worst films that they've ever been on. They starved you, they abandoned you, and you were terrified and lost the entire time. Like, I don't know, how would you feel post afterwards? For me, like, I would care about the art.
I'd care about the art, and I feel like even if I was angry or bitter, when I saw the reception it got, like when I realized, holy shit, this little movie came out in thousands of theaters.
Or saw like just
and millions of people were watching and loving it, all would be forgiven.
Or like when you watch it, like how can you be mad when you watch it? Like,
the
yeah, you were angry.
justifies the means.
Exactly.
And keep in mind, like nothing horrible happened. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. It's not like they were like
they weren't
beaten.
starving. They didn't get food for a couple days, so they weren't.
Like it wasn't even that they didn't get food. They still got food every day. They just got less and less and less.
Yeah.
So they were just getting like hangry.
But also, like, I mean, welcome to independent filmmaking. If you don't bring your own snacks, fuck you. Like, I always bring my own snacks because that happens on every set I'm on. Like,
you will probably start.
As they spend more and more money, they're like, oh shit, we're just gonna start skimping. And you're like, oh damn, okay.
That craft services table gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
Right?
Jessica,
or like you end up having to Uber Eats McDonald's salad because there's nothing to eat at 11 o'clock at night and you haven't eaten since, 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, it happens. You've got to plan for that. And that's why, like, I always bring, like, almonds and stuff.
Yeah.
So I would have been, like, that person who was like, no, you can't have my almonds.
Or my whole bag of supply.
Right? Yeah. I have, like, energy drinks. I'm like, hold on, don't film this because I'm not supposed to have this on the script.
Turn the camera off.
Right. So, yeah. No, I think, for me, that's it. But also, like, I would have just ran. I would have been like, fuck that, I'm running.
Yeah, I don't know what I would have done. I feel like I would have like leadered up and been like a bitch and been like, okay, team.
But I feel like Heather tried that and that did not work.
Yeah, but like
I feel like that's when you just have to run and abandon everyone else. Fuck you guys. No, it's like keep up with me or die. Like it's up to you. I'm not abandoning you. I'm saving myself.
Yeah.
But by staying with you, I'm basically committing suicide. So that's not a win. I'm telling you what I'm doing.
You're not there.
Join me
or don't.
Or not.
Wow, that should be like our tagline.
Right? Like my entire life.
Join us or don't.
So questions, comments, concerns. I still am not sure if she was like actually supposed to be like a witch. Or she was like a ghost or an apparition. Like,
oh, you don't know if she was like witchcrafty?
No. Like, or like how much, like if she was an actual real witch or if it's just like she was portrayed as a witch. Like I felt like that whole thing got a little bit much. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't matter to me either way. Like, did the townspeople think she was a witch?
I think they did.
Was she? The townspeople definitely did. But was she an actual witch in real life? Was she a demon in real life that the townspeople interpreted as a witch?
She just had a lot of cats and like crystals.
Also stereotypes.
She was just like a really nice person.
I have a lot of cats and crystals. She was just like in the wrong place at the wrong time. People didn't understand her.
She wasn't in LA.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments, concerns?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, would you recommend this movie to others?
Fuck yes, I would. This actually is one of my top favorite horror movies, like, of all time. I live for this movie.
So I hadn't seen it in a couple years, and rewatching it, it was such a great film. I had so much fun rewatching this film.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. You guys can definitely check it out. For the record, where is it? Let me just pull up on my phone where I watched it.
I'm pretty sure it's on Amazon.
It's on Hulu, but only if you have Star Access.
Oh.
It's probably on Amazon. Like, you can buy it all
I think you can rent it on, like, Prime. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, no, it's so good.
Check it out. And where can people find out more information about you?
Oh, people can find more information about me at, like, Facebook. I'm Ali Ferda. Or Twitter at the Ali Ferda. Or on Instagram at Ali Savad. And that's ALISIVAD.
And look for her in the upcoming films Lilith and An Ending, which is going to get renamed, but stay tuned to my social media pages for what's going to be renamed, because I don't know. And also, if you like us, don't forget to hit the like button down below and also subscribe. I produce new videos over here on Scream Queen Stream a couple times a week, and 10 billion bonus points if you join our Patreon. On our Patreon, you can join us in Google Hangouts. You can get signed swag, maybe naked photos of Heather Dorff, maybe not. Anyways, bye.
Bye.